I just know by week 4, I'm going to throw this book across. Yeah, I already know. But we just finished week 1 of reading The Artist's Way. And I'm not going to lie, I'm enjoying this like whole process. But I'm also just like trying to stay calm because I'm like, okay, you know, it seems pretty chill, pretty easy right now with the task and, you know, morning pages and all of that. I just feel like it's going to sneak up on us because some of these titles are, yeah. But if you don't know what The Artist's Way is, it's pretty much a 12-week program for creatives, but more so really just anybody, like any profession or anything that you do. You're just pretty much tapping back into that creativity and like your childlike inner child energy and stuff like that. So we just completed week 1. I just want to talk about what I learned and, you know, my breakthroughs and things of that nature. So let's see. At the end of every chapter, they have like a check-in section. So I'll just read those. So I'll just read those questions. Check-in section. So it says, how many days of the week did you do morning pages? 7 out of 10. We always hope. How was the experience for you? I did the 7 out of 7. For me, I'm a yapper, and I've always journaled. Like, I have a million journals, like, just put up in storage because I've been writing since I learned how to write. I'm sure I came out of my mom's womb just yapping. So that wasn't really hard for me. But I did realize a lot of my random thoughts I also incorporated within whatever I was saying. So, like, one morning I wrote a song. Like, I just woke up and it was like a song just playing over and over and over in my head. And I ended up just writing that. But then in the middle of me writing the lyrics out, I would just write like the random thought that was in my head. Like, did we finish Shrek 2 last night? Or like, dang, I want some hibachi today. But it's like, that's the whole point of like just getting that brain dump and kind of just releasing, you know, whatever is on your head as soon as you wake up. And honestly, I've been like excited to get up more. Like, I already have been getting up, like doing my morning prayers and my devotionals with our church. But something about getting up and writing these morning pages has had me hyped, like to the point where like now I'm challenging myself. So like I don't keep my notebook by my bed. I just put it on the counter. So therefore, whenever I have to get up, I just have to go get up and grab it and sit over there and write. So, you know, I light my candle, put on a little, you know, instrumental jazz or like some gospel, and I just write it out. I'm like, dang, get to it. So it's been a interesting process, I will say, because I had my first breakthrough yesterday. So I started the day after everybody else started in our group chat. So my week was technically yesterday. Yeah, I think it was technically yesterday. Everybody else was like on Sunday, whatever. So at the top of the week, you're supposed to read the chapter. So we, you know, did our discussions last night and like what we learned, you know, our artist dates, things of that nature. And then we started chapter 2. So I'm going to read chapter 2 today and then start doing my task in the book. Did I do my artist date this week? And what did I do? How did it feel? The producer of The Breakfast Club is actually a professor at SCAD, and I just found out about that. And they were having an event to where it was the 40th anniversary of The Breakfast Club coming out, and he was just talking about how he pretty much made the best like high school movie in history, pretty much. And I'm not disagreeing because The Breakfast Club, 10 out of 10 movie. And fun fact, he just told us that the part where they're in the library, sorry if it's a spoiler, but not really because why haven't you seen The Breakfast Club? The part when they're in the library discussing like the real life issues, they thought that that wasn't gonna like translate well with the teens or like the adults in that time because it was too serious. One of the best scenes in the movie, 10 out of 10. So I went there and I also went to the art store. I just went to Blick to get like some supplies for my scrapbook and also just to walk around. I took myself on a walk. I actually did a 40-minute walk after we did a full body workout, which was, it was extreme. And then I also just took a walk from the art store, and I actually took the train to the art store, which is, I was trying to be cutesy arts. Atlanta, Marta. Yeah. No. So I won't be doing that again. Uber is cute. Uber is cute. So Uber is a little safer than the MARTA, I would say, because anyway. Lastly, were there any other issues this week that you considered significant for your recovery? Describe them. So I don't think I had any issues. I will say I did have a little bit of resistance toward doing some of the tasks because it makes you like think about things you forgot or like you really can't remember due to trauma. For me, trauma, ADHD and things like that. And also like facing things that you probably already let go of, like prayed to go away. And a lot of the tasks I did just in my head because I really, to be honest, I didn't want to see it on paper because I feel like even in the journals where I have had to brain dump or like just rant or vent, it's like I don't go back and read those because there was, you know, definitely like dark moments and dark times like that. So I definitely avoided 2 or 3 of the tasks, but I also went back and did 2 more harder ones just because they also say in the book to try to do a task that you love and try to do a task that you resist the most. And again, I did it up here in my brain, you know, just for my sake. But I also, you know, after our discussion last night, did want to revisit at least 2 of them and kind of go from there. But I don't know. We have tasks, I believe, for each week. So if I can, you know, implement them within my task, week 2 tasks, then I'll do it. But I'm not sweating it. So I will say I had a breakthrough just because one time, like this week during my morning pages, I just felt myself writing in a way where I felt safe. And I know a lot of people on the call last night were pretty much saying, like, some of them aren't journalists, you know, like they don't journal like yappers doing like writers or whatever, but they were like almost intimidated to even be talking with themselves to themselves. And it's like, in the book, it says you don't have to share these. Like, this actually, you shouldn't even be going back and reading them because it's just to get it off your head that morning. And you can go over the 3 pages, I believe. It's not like a dead set rule. It's just like get out 3 pages at least. And even if you can't figure it out, like what to write, they have affirmations for us. They have basic principles that we follow by, all that. But it's really just stuff that you can implement in your everyday life, which is dope. And a lot of people were just saying like they felt intimidated and like they felt like, oh, I would write like this way, or like I would scribble. One of the girls joked and said like she's writing like Da Vinci Code. She was like, 'cause I don't know like if somebody's gonna find my journal or like read through it, I just would scratch that part out. I'm just like, I've also felt that way a lot of times when I'm journaling about like specific personal things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like let me write it a certain way, like let me not say it like this way, because like what if somebody finds my journal? But it's like I had to point out the fact that that's a trauma response of me never having privacy as a kid. So me having journals and diaries and stuff wasn't necessarily like a sacred thing for me because they were being read. And, you know, busted in my door and, you know, just all things like that. It's like a trauma response because it's like, I think about why I'm a light sleeper, because I'm always making sure I was up before everybody else in the house. I was making sure like nobody was sneaking down or like trying to come get me in a room, you know? So it's like all of these trauma responses came from that. And I had a breakthrough like, wow, like you're actually safe. Like you're in your own home, you're in a completely different state, and you have been for a long time. This is your journal and you have privacy and you have boundaries and like you're safe, you're good. So it's like, wow, like not to say like I was glad that everybody was feeling it, but it was like it was so interesting to see like, wow, like I'm not alone in like feeling unsafe even with my own thoughts or like seeing it on my paper, because sometimes it is intimidating because it makes you feel like, damn, like sometimes your thoughts are negative, but they're not necessarily always your thoughts. Like we have so many, I think it's like over 10,000 thoughts that run through your mind consistently, constantly, all day. Well, not everybody, because apparently people don't have inner dialogue, which is crazy. But I don't know. It just felt like, okay, this is cool. But it felt cooler to work through it and realize like this is actually a trauma response of like you not feeling safe. Then when it comes to one of the, not necessarily like a challenge, but something that she asked us to do is if it's something negative you're thinking about, it's a blurt. So like write out your blurt and then turn it into a positive affirmation. So I was definitely turning a lot of my bad blurts into positive affirmations and just like telling myself like, you know what, you actually are safe and it's okay for you to say or feel this way, because even if it is a negative thought, you're not a negative person or like a negative thinking person. Sometimes, again, thoughts are just not your thoughts. It might just be something you heard, seen, you know what I'm saying? Like your friend's problems or whatever the case is. So I felt a lot better after day 5. And I was like, okay, now let's get past it. Because I'm like 99% sure the last time I did pick this book up, like my first time picking this book up, I think I stopped on the first task, like the first chapter, and that was it. I feel like after that, I just had so much resistance. And I feel like right now, I don't have any resistance, but I am excited to see how many people stay in a group, how many people stay committed, because you do sign a contract. You do have to sign a contract. Not saying you do, like they're not forcing, but like it's a part of the whole program. Like you have a whole contract to sign. And I think it's like small things you have to sign throughout the book, because again, this is your personal journey. This is your personal book. This is your creative, this is you tapping back into your creativity, your creativeness. So You can write throughout this entire book. Dang, where's the contracts? You don't want no problem. You just... So this is the first contract. And it pretty much says, I blank understand that I am undertaking an intensive, guided encounter with my own creativity. I commit myself to the 12-week program duration of the course. I blank commit to weekly readings, daily morning pages, a weekly artist day, and the fulfillment of each weekly task. I blank further understand that this course will raise issues and emotions for me to deal with. I commit myself to excellent self-care, adequate sleep, diet, exercise, and pampering for the duration of course. And that was also another thing that we discussed about forcing ourselves to rest. Because I know I'm the type of person where I don't rest a lot. Like, relax has never been in my vocabulary because I wasn't, you know, I just didn't have that luxury of relaxing, which is why I have really, really bad insomnia. But one of my friends on the call had said she felt bad because the artist day she set up for herself didn't happen. So she just ended up taking a nap, but it felt like the best thing ever. So she's like, that's not, you know, judging herself. And it's like, this is a non-judgmental thing because it's yourself and you're taking yourself through these emotions and these journey. And she was like, no, I just can't believe like I rested, but I really felt good physically. And I'm just wondering like how long it's going to take for me pretty much to like get to the point where like I'm okay to rest and not be anxious. And I'm like, you know what? I feel the exact same way, but I will say this. For me, and I feel like this is not just a me thing or whatever the case is, I feel like God will literally just make you sit down. And that's what happened to me. Like, I didn't want to sit down. God was like, okay, you're going to sit down. Because you're literally depleting yourself until you have nothing to give. Like, nothing left. Like, not even including, like, energy for yourself, energy for God. It's like, no, your ass is going to rest. So, I was just telling her, like, yeah, you're going to please try to implement as much sleep as you can because, baby, you do not want to be set down to rest. Because you really don't understand how exhausted you are until, like, you're sitting for such a long time. Like, okay, it's been 6 months. It's been a year. Dang, how much rest do I really need? And then when you realize, like, this is not exaggerating. This is not God punishing you. This is not, no. It's, like, literally, like, you have been burnt out. For me, personally, I was burnt out for over 5 years. So sitting down was, like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I gotta get up, I gotta do something, I gotta get a new job, I gotta make some money, I gotta do X, Y, and Z, I gotta work on this part, this. And I was just like, all over the place. It's like, God is like, no, you just chill. Like, just chill. Work on your craft, work on your creativity. Let's talk about what your inner child wants. Take that nap, drink your water, and get some sleep. Like, again, heavy on the sleep. Do your skincare routine. Take a nice hot shower. Take a walk. Like, rest is very important. Like, and when I learned how to start taking care of myself, like physically, mentally, spiritually, it has helped so much. And honestly, I yearn for sleep now because it's like, wow, can't wait to get to bed. But also learning how to not oversleep and just bed rot because laziness is just arrogance. Why do I assume that I just have so much time in the world? Why do I assume that God's going to just keep giving me chance after chance after chance if I'm not doing it with my life or my days? So, fire up my ass every time. But I have yapped enough about week 1 and I'm excited for week 2. I do want to leave y'all with the affirmation because we do have creative affirmations we tell ourselves every day and we have basic principles as well. So one of them this week, for week 1, I will say, my creativity heals myself and others. And I am allowed to nurture my artists. So if you have read this book, let me know how your experience has been. Have you done it more than once? Have you shared it with a friend, family member, peer, whatever? And if you have not read this book, I would suggest you go ahead and pick it up and start your journey. Even if you feel like you aren't ready, the more resistance I feel will make your process 10 times better. So push yourself, believe in yourself, and here's to week 1.